Welcome to Division Rivals. I'm Gabe Cohon.
I'm Kenny Weber.
I'm Lucas Cistro, dude.
And I'm Dwayne Murphy Jr.
He's back.
Back, baby.
I knew he would be back. I knew he would be back this week. As soon as the Giants won, I was like, there's no way he misses another week.
2 in a row, baby?
There's
What?
no
Both
way.
games that y'all said we wasn't going to win, all right? Everybody, nobody believed in us. But we're here, baby. We at the party.
I think we have to kick it off then. The Giants beat the Ravens.
Yes, we did.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we did. They said we couldn't do it. They said we wouldn't do it. Every prognosticator picked the Ravens.
Oh, yeah. There's one who actually picked the Giants. Let me pull it
Stephen A.
up.
Smith.
Yeah, you guys won when you were underdogs. Again, you're so not used to winning that you guys, gosh, act like you've won before. This is getting tiring.
This is what success looks like. all
When's
right?
the last time you had 5 wins in a season?
When's the last time we had 5 wins? We had 5
Last
wins
week.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, we had 5. We had 6 wins 2 years ago.
That's
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
definitely not a good answer. The fact that you had that's definitely not a good answer. I proved my point with your words.
You guys do know success. You do have 2 Super Bowl wins in the 2010s.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Well,
Come on
not
now.
2010s, but
In
in
the
a
2000s,
4-year
12, yeah.
stretch.
In the
In a 4-year
2000s.
Basically.
stretch.
You know what I'm saying?
And besides that, they're garbage.
What do you mean garbage?
Besides that, you guys have been garbage. Besides that, besides those 2 seasons, 'cause
Right, it was one other playoff season.
I'd say
Yeah.
like mediocre at best.
yeah, you guys are.
Oh, the
just-
boat trip. That season, you know.
Hey, we were all.
If it wasn't for the boat trip, we
Yeah.
maybe we could have beat the Packers.
Listen
look,
to me.
nope.
My frustrations may be coming out a little bit early in the podcast today, but this is because we have a group chat, and when the Giants win, I'm solely rooting for them to lose. Not even from the standpoint of the Cowboys, from the standpoint of I don't need this fucking group chat.
And you know
to
what?
start me to start. I have to explain how an MVP award works
Kenny,
every single Sunday.
The problem with this is as soon as they lose, Dwayne and Lucas are going to change it to DJ Khaled. Just another one. Another one.
It's another one good next week. Hey, just stay on to Cincinnati. All right. But look, this is what I'm saying. It hurts my feelings because I have been such a supporter of the rush. You know what I'm saying? This has been
That's
quite
all.
a ride.
You're trying to undermine the Cowboys.
No,
with your
why would
Cooper
you
Rush.
say that? Why, man? You know what I mean? I feel like we can all win. There's room for all of us to eat. You know what I mean?
No, or
Yeah.
you're used to such shit quarterback play that Cooper Rush does look like a
man.
savior to you.
You got to watch the games. Look what he's doing. Look at the vibe he gives the team. Everybody believes it. Even this game, he was driving. Everybody, the hope was lost. It was dark. All right.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah,
the way he
yeah.
threw that third interception, I
3
was
pick
like, oh my
vibes.
God.
Yes.
Well, that was
With
that
6 minutes left?
That
Oh,
might have been
was
on
the
him,
game
but he
beating.
dropped. Hey, but y'all, 17 points.
17 points in the 2022 NFL is
That's very
almost
bad.
zero.
Hey, just hold him to 16. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. This year, we've seen some really strong defensive teams, right? Giants are an example of one. Cowboys are another, as are the Eagles. All, unfortunately, in the NFC East. Cowboys did end up playing the Eagles this week. Eagles remain unbeaten. The Eagles look really, really fucking good at football. Are you guys ready? Giants-Eagles matchup in a few weeks?
I'm excited. I'm getting my fucking broom ready, bro.
Never been more ready for a clash than I have been for
God.
Philadelphia.
You guys
All
are
right?
gonna get run over.
What? How could you
I don't
say
think
that?
so,
I
yeah.
don't know if that'll
We just had
happen.
the ultimate test because,
No, you
Jalen
didn't.
Hurts is like a poor man's Lamar
No,
Jackson.
but Jalen Hurts is not a poor man's. He's a winning Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson did what Lamar Jackson does and lost this game again. Like lost it. The Ravens do this.
You
They
know that was
lose
his first loss to an NFC team?
They lose these.
In his career?
Yeah.
In his
Wow.
career, he don't. He even said it. He said it himself. I don't lose to the NFC. That's what he said.
Well, I just don't believe in Lamar. I haven't. I've told you guys this
I
before.
love him.
He's
I
an
don't-
MVP candidate.
I know.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand that, but deep in my bones, I don't believe in him.
Well, the one thing I'll say about Jalen Hurts, I would not make the argument that he is, in fact, a rich man's Lamar Jackson. The guy is A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. He has real weapons on offense that Lamar Jackson has never had.
Yeah, Miles Sanders has been running the ball pretty great.
Yeah,
I agree with that, but at the same time, you play with who you play with. Like, you know what I mean? That's like just that's how Dak, Dak fucking can't play unless he has a great wide receiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, Jalen Hurts is pretty new to winning. It's not like he's been doing this, his entire career. I mean,
he did
NFL career.
And Lamar Jackson's been shitting the bed like this. The Ravens, I don't even really blame Lamar Jackson. I don't believe that much in Lamar Jackson overall is like this. Like, yeah, he's going to put up a lot of stats, be a great player, but he's not. I just don't think he's going to be that Super Bowl winning.
You don't think he's a winner?
I don't think he's going to. I think maybe he'll get they could put because of his talent, they could put, but he's not a fucking dynasty type. Like, I mean, not even as much as Russell Wilson, who just a couple other ways. Russell Wilson has more Super Bowls.
Well, would you take Lamar or Russell Wilson right now, though?
Oh, Lamar right now, of course. Russell Wilson's career is over.
I think Lamar is the top 5 quarterback in football.
I know that.
Easy.
I know. Yeah. I understand I sound stupid. I know that.
Okay.
I understand that I sound
Okay.
stupid. It's just that it's in my gut. It's what I believe in my gut.
So you don't believe that Lamar is like a postseason, like take you all the way to the mountaintop quarterback. He's really good, just good for regular season highlights in a game, more flash.
Correct.
Okay.
He's like literally like a fucking like the flashiest fucking Joe Flacco. You know what I mean? Like
So
Hold on a second.
Hold on.
Wait.
like, no. In the sense that it's like they just can't get
He's
over
like
the hump.
almost the exact opposite of Joe Flacco.
No.
And Joe
Every
Flacco won
way.
a Super Bowl.
And what did I tell you? I think that he could win a Super Bowl. They get the right team around him, and get on track. That he can. He has that talent to where he's going to put them over the top to go win that Super Bowl. Right.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is Joe Flacco like put up numbers, and that team was always like in it. And they were they're kind of like a winning organization, kind of.
Yeah, the Ravens have always
but
been.
they shit the bed. They just shit the bed in a way that other teams don't. Maybe like the Cowboys do, but they do it thoroughly throughout a season.
I don't know. I think because this has only been happening as of late. Last year they had injuries that like decimated the team. It was
like half of the defense. Yeah.
Well,
literally.
and even this year, I mean, J.K. Dobbins got a little bit injured this last week. Rashad Bateman has been out for 2 weeks, so they're missing their wideout one. Like, I don't know. I still have faith in the Ravens.
Yeah, it's like
I do too.
Lamar was only throwing to Mark Andrews out there. You know what I mean? And then it's like you can't just leave him open. We were having trouble covering him for some reason when it's like that he's the only target. That he was really literally running outside routes, inside routes, slots, I
mean, they've got other weapons. They targeted Duvernay. He dropped a couple passes, but he's still like a dangerous receiver. He's more than just a kick returner now.
Yeah.
So
you can't let him get deep. That's
absolutely not. No.
You.
Yeah.
I guess the more like I know I'm just kind of taking us off topic a little bit, but the more I think about it, besides Brady, is there any like dynasty type quarterback, I guess, in the league like that that just I guess
Patrick
Mahomes.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Yeah,
but I guess
Potentially
there.
with
but
Allen.
but Mahomes has the one Super Bowl, and then
he
but
went to
he's
another
been-
one.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
been, and in 4 years to have MVP, made the AFC Championship
gone
game
every
every
year?
season.
Yeah.
That he started.
That's
so.
what I mean. You can't. I mean, Brady's done that. I mean, he's got the 6 Super Bowls, but he's like what 11, 12 AFC Championship games. And
he's 45 years old. I mean,
Yeah.
Lamar's like what 24, 25 maybe.
Yeah.
This is only his 5th year.
Lamar's he's got to get out of the first round. Lamar hasn't. The Ravens haven't gotten out of the first round. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes is the closest to Brady if you want to talk
25,
dynastic, like you know what I mean.
Yeah, and then I guess anybody else in the league? Russell Wilson was close. Like Russell Wilson, when the Seahawks were good, was pretty damn close.
To being like a legacy guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, because they went to another Super Bowl loss by one play.
The
That's why I was
next-
just hearing about it.
The next guy, pretty clearly, is Aaron Rodgers, right? Like, let's not kid ourselves, but he only has 1 Super Bowl
But
appearance,
Right.
and 1 Super
exactly.
Bowl win.
Yeah.
So
And then how many NFC Championship appearances even?
he's been to
Oh,
a
he's
lot of
plenty.
NFC championships, and they've lost a lot of NFC
Yeah.
championship games.
I think he really should,
Including one to the Giants.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Eli, baby.
Well, and
yeah.
Right there.
Packers
yeah.
lost this week to the Jets too. That didn't look any pretty at all.
Ooh, man, they can't.
Man.
Don't sit there. Don't New York City. It does not agree with Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? It's bad.
You know what though?
What?
I think the Jets are also getting better. It's not like they just lost to a shitty team.
Mm-hmm. No, they're good. The Jets are showing that they are a quality team this year.
The AFC East is looking pretty nice right now. They got them. They got the Pats are starting to look good again. Of course, the Bills. Best team in the NFL, and you still got
Let me ask you
Miami?
this.
The AFC
because
East and the NFC East, two strongest divisions. Was
absolutely.
that the question?
That is a good question. I was gonna say about do we want to think the Patriots still have a chance to win their division?
To win the division, no, because of the Bills, but to make the playoffs, I think the AFC East on hold.
Mm-hmm.
They keep playing like this.
Who knows?
Zappy.
Yeah,
Bailey Zappi.
Zappy, dude.
Who'd have thought?
Do we have another QB controversy brewing right there?
100%.
We got.
Really?
Yep. Oh, 100. Yeah. If Mac Jones loses the next game that he starts, it's Bailey Zappi era.
Yeah.
You think
so?
the leash
Oh,
is that
yeah.
short? One game?
Yes, this is Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
He will pull the plug immediately if he has to.
Famously signed a quarterback to a $100 million deal, only to bench him for a 6th-rounder.
Yep.
known
Drew
as
Bledsoe to Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Thank you very much.
Well, he must have saw that dog in that.
How much? I wonder how much money he made in that Drew Bledsoe. Like if he got because back then guaranteed money was not nearly.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it was only the first year of that deal, so it was like he stayed on the team because he still played in the AFC Championship game, but then they traded him to Buffalo, and usually when a team trades you, they have to take on a portion of your money,
right?
And then before they can extend you or whatever like that. So he probably made a decent amount of that $100 million, but probably not a lot from the Patriots. They got to take a dead cap hit, so it really would depend on what the dead cap hit was on that. So here, how much money did
he only made?
11?
He made 11 million.
Made 11. Yeah, that's one.
So 11 million, 11 on the $100 million contract.
Yeah.
Worth it.
That might have even been
a little
the
over
signing
10%.
bonus.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. No,
So you guys really think there's a controversy there with Zappy?
Yeah.
Bill Belichick didn't want to. Didn't want to name Mac Jones starter right away, and he's kind of wavered on that.
Well, it's funny. At first they tried to rush him back. They're like, "Hey, it's a 4 to 6 week injury." He's like, "What are you talking about? I heard 6 to 8. I'm trying to take care of myself."
Sounds like another organization we were. They wanted to rush him back, and then they realized they opened their window and they just took a deep
Felt
breath.
a little rush of air, some might say.
And a new day was born, baby. You know what I'm saying? He does, so there's some serious controversy happening.
Yeah, after that second interception in the Cowboys game, they're like, "Oh yeah, I think the thumb it's at
Dak's
like an
looking
A."
pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, Dak was loving.
I want it to be an A plus, but it's
You guys are so ridiculous. There's no quarterback controversy. Cooper Rush does not play a high level of football for there to be a real controversy.
It was so real. He was actually in MVP conversations. Cooper Rush. That's
not real. That's not real.
Yes.
That's foolish. That's foolish. That is not fucking talk that I support. It
was the case.
No, it's because on TV they want to have that's gonna definitely be fucking salacious, talking about fucking Cooper Rush.
Yeah, but then you heard Dak was going up to Jerry Jones and squeezing his hand, and then he was trying to throw left-handed in front of the media. You can see these things brewing on the sideline. That first game, those first 2 games, Dak was oh yeah, the third game, Dak was back there yeah, okay, yeah, that's good. You can see him getting less and less support because these it's all TV talk, but it makes those controversies very real. Yeah. You got to go into work every day being
a big brother, little brother situation.
Exactly.
I just can't. I don't. You guys are foolish. This is foolish.
Did you guys see those 4th and 1 conversions? The QB sneak with Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
It looked almost unstoppable. You saw they were trying to jump over the line, multiple times. They couldn't stop him. And then they're like, this is a guy who deadlifts 600 pounds.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure squat 600 or something.
Squat, one of those.
Yeah.
They say he squats the most on the team.
Yeah.
Out of everybody.
That's pretty crazy.
I
wouldn't have, if he really was that franchise guy, I would be, I don't know about you squatting, man.
Well, I think Jalen Hurts he's gonna get that bag after this year.
Yeah, for sure.
He is
for
a
sure.
franchise quarterback. He has cemented himself as such.
Yeah. So, that's
especially after being the cow. And what they did to Micah Parsons, they put him in a lot of RPOs, right, where they're playing it towards Micah Parsons, and then he has to make a decision instead of just rushing the quarterback. Nick Sirianni came in with a pretty good game plan.
That's great. Yeah, you bring it to him because You can't just have him going after him. That's terrible.
Yeah, a coach that does not have good game plans is the Arizona Cardinals head coach, Cliff Kingsbury. Still the Arizona Cardinals head coach.
You really think he's going to get fired? I heard this from another Cardinals fan. You guys really think he's going to get fired mid-season?
He's awful.
Well, I mean,
but he was good last season.
They fired Matt Rule mid-season.
I don't think that he's going to get fired mid-season unless it needs to be multiple games with DeAndre. If if DeAndre comes back and they're chugging along and the offense starts opening up, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, what's they're going to fire him? Like, no.
Last night on Monday night, right, they had Steve Young, Larry Fitzgerald, a living legend, Arizona Cardinal, one of the best receivers of all time, gets up there and goes, the Cardinals offense sucks ass. And Steve Young gets up there and on a piece of paper, he writes, this is what they do every week. This is their game plan. He just writes, wing it.
But I mean, the game plan before was Kyler said what? Find DeAndre. You know what I mean? So it's like
but that's if that's your game plan, which is okay. Don't get sacked. Run around. Oh, DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, it's not a game plan.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's got hired,
backyard
man.
football.
He got hired. They like the air raid. That was Cliff Kingsbury. He was supposed to be. And you know why he's not gonna get fired? The agent is the same agent as the. I think him and Steve Keim have the same agent.
Both of them should get fired.
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald played under him, didn't he?
Yeah, that's why he knows.
Oh man, so he's like, yeah, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say
year.
when last season you guys had a lot of success, particularly on offense.
Right, with DeAndre, that's why you have to come back. That's why this all hinges
on. It
on
was all a facade, as I learned last year during the playoffs. All a facade. Everything we did last year, fake, made up, smoke and mirrors.
He's like, you would have thought you guys went on a boat trip.
It was the goddamn Prestige, is what our offense was.
Man, which one? What Christian Bale or Hugh Jackman?
Both sides of it, just complete magic. All made up. None of it's real.
By the way,
illusion.
Is Marquise Brown out for the year?
6 weeks. So we traded.
That's not bad
for the lowly Panthers wideout, Robbie Anderson. I like Robbie Anderson a little bit.
I like him. Yeah. Deep threat,
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. He's going to be a lot better on the Cardinals than he was for the Panthers.
He's definitely going to come in with something to prove too. Like he wants, you know what I mean? He wants the ball out.
I think he deserves an apology. All right, he does. He said months ago.
You guys suck ass. Don't bring in Baker.
Yeah. He said it.
Oh man,
he said it, and then they made him walk it back. He had to go on them talk shows and be like, "Nah, we cool." And Baker was garbage.
The
all
worst
right,
quarterback.
You should watch
NFL.
this podcast, Robbie. All right, because I've been with you this whole time.
I think they signed him for the marketing. They really like those Cleveland Browns, stadium commercials, like, oh, at home with Baker Mayfield. At home here. Right?
He made T-shirts like that said "off the leash" for his.
Okay. This is what off the leash looks like. Oh man,
that's the Browns, man. I'm telling you, I'm glad. And then I'm glad he's not doing anything. But Robbie Anderson won. I think that whole situation. I said it earlier.
The Panthers is a fucking dumpster fire, of course.
Yeah. I heard they might be trading CMC. What do you guys think?
Anyone who gets out of Carolina is a winner of this season.
Yeah,
for sure.
So now let me ask you though, with Robbie Anderson, how do you feel about your Cardinals? Because Robbie Anderson will be here, and DeAndre Hopkins is coming back next week.
And in 6 weeks, Marquise Brown. So
and we're still gonna lose.
Well, I don't know about that. The no game plan is better when you got talent on the field.
100% agree. Yeah. I think we saw what the no game plan looked like with Hollywood Brown, and it looked fine for Hollywood Brown fantasy owners and bad for Arizona Cardinals.
Got a quarterback
fans.
that can extend plays to 45 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
in the pocket.
DeAndre Hopkins is very good. We also lost Justin Pugh for the season to a torn ACL.
Man.
Rodney Hudson missed last week. So I said it at the start of the season, and you all were like, you're so down on the Cardinals. Justifiably so. We look like a bad football team. I think getting DeAndre Hopkins back will help our offense a little bit. Mm-hmm. We put up 9 points against the Seattle Seahawks.
You know what? Even though you lost a bunch of offensive linemen, I think his throw time is going to go from 45 to 40 seconds. He can still run around, do whatever he wants. I think give the man a Viagra commercial. Come on. No one could last like.
And last longer. Kyler Murray.
Just Kyler Murray in the pocket, or you with this Viagra?
What's the other one?
Both
The
in the
wipes.
pocket.
Roman, is that it?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Oh, wait, are those Trojans or
No. It's
the concealed. Clearly, someone's been ordering stuff online. But it's the concealed packaging ED medication you can get.
Oh,
if you're
okay,
wondering
yeah.
about our
Yeah.
first sponsor,
Yeah, seriously.
Blue
That
Chew.
is- yeah. Anything you need for extra testosterone, we
Yeah.
got you. But what do I think about the Cardinals? I think they're bad. I think Christian McCaffrey's going to get traded, most likely to the team that they just lost to this week in the Rams. If any team is searching for a running back, it's definitely them.
Yeah, they're always searching for. They just find money. I don't know when. I don't know what happens. Talk about cap is a myth. There's no cap. There's never been a cap ever in this league.
they find it under the couch that Kyler Murray sits at when he plays Modern Warfare.
It has to be coming out of college. It has to be coming out of college contract because nobody's restructuring. Nobody is taking less money. Everyone is getting maxed out. You know what I mean?
Well, that's on the. You're talking about the Rams.
On the Rams, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would be amazing if Christian McCaffrey found his way to the Rams. That would be. That's actually the thing that could almost single-handedly have a possibility help them turn their season around.
If they have both of the best white skill players in the league
man.
on one team, are you kidding me, dude?
And then they wear white power shirts.
Kanye West shirts, the white line.
Yeah.
That's what they'll do.
Oh, man.
Kanye West is buying the Rams, guys.
Let them get Adam Thielen and see what happens to this team, baby.
Oh,
all right,
man.
it's a wrap.
And then just every single tight end in the league, too.
Exactly.
Hunter
Julian
Renfro, Christian Barrios. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman coming out of retirement on this team, baby. You know, shoot, Peyton Hillis will suit out for a couple of anyway. Throwback.
Yeah.
Peyton Hillis.
I would
Back
like
to
to see
white
that,
people
though.
playing football.
Huh?
No, I would like to see Christian McCaffrey going to the Rams because no one needs, someone like that as bad as the Rams.
Yeah.
Like just someone that can take the ball in short yardage, and obviously Cooper Kupp.
Well,
can
somebody,
do that,
somebody's got to go opposite
already
Cooper
know.
Kupp. That has to be the case,
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see another team that could potentially use a running back are the Broncos right now. With Javonte Williams' knee being blown out. They looked bad. Another week against the Chargers, they couldn't move the ball in the second half.
Yeah, but do you really want to hand off CMC to the offense coordinator with the least creativity in all of the NFL?
At least you're getting the ball to someone who's consistently good every down. Because Russell Wilson is looking more and more to just dump passes off because he can't play football anymore.
Yeah, but Nathaniel Hackett, his offense is really predicated on a quarterback being able to throw, you know what I mean. So Christian McCaffrey wouldn't.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
I think it's so bad that I think Jason Garrett can come in there and be a better offensive coordinator.
Oh man, that's a bold
That's
statement.
yeah.
That's a bold.
That's how bad I think the
Bold
offensive
statement.
game planning is.
Yeah,
I mean, you see, there's no creativity, no motion, no nothing.
But if we're on the Broncos, I gotta say, I think a lot of that is on Russ. I'm been sticking to it, dude. He is missing guys that are wide open. He had a tight end open yesterday. He missed Judy on a pass yesterday.
Yep.
If you were gonna go back last week to Ken Hamler, the dude literally threw his helmet because he was so wide open. I think this is really coming down to Russ.
All his deep balls are short.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got a good launch to Judy last night, and it just it just died 10 yards away from him. Judy was looking around what is happening right now?
Just see there's a little video of him. I think they're at halftime. They're going back to the locker room, and he's trying to give him high fives, whatever. And they're like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. Here you go, fucking half-assed. Yeah, no, they don't. Russ, yeah, they don't like his little rah-rah. They don't like his let's ride.
Plus,
It
was a real life let's ride
He did
moment.
it at the press conference. Yeah, he did it last week.
but all that is great when you're winning and it doesn't feel so dorky and everything. But then when you start losing, he just seems like such a dork.
he keeps tweeting all the time that Jesus has this in mind for me. This is my destiny.
Oh my
according to
gosh,
Jesus.
he's so bad. He was on Rich Eisen the other day. I was just like, why did you even call this dude? He's just like, I'm built for this. All right, and it's like, dude, stop. He narrates his life like it's a trailer happening.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, his book.
Russell Wilson, built Ford tough.
And Sierra's like, can you stop talking to yourself? And just like
Russell Wilson's built Ford tough and singing like a rock.
He is, dude. Like it's like that. It makes sense now why he like he drove that like tank to training camp and like wore his own jersey to practice, and like he does all of his post game press conferences still in his gear. You know, it's like 15 to 20 minutes between the game and that press conference.
That guy's got nasty jaw cage.
It's like he's got to sit in that shit for like half an hour before he goes and talks to these people. It's like, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Apparently, he doesn't give out his phone number.
No, you got to go through his team.
Yeah.
All right, you have to start a franchise today.
Yeah.
Right, we're having an expansion team, and you only have 2 options at quarterback: Russell Wilson, Baker Mayfield.
Oh man,
Who are you taking?
Russ still.
Right now? Yeah, let's ride.
Yeah,
definitely. I definitely got to ride.
Okay. I'm trying to win, right?
Yeah.
Oh, if I'm trying to win, Russ. If I'm trying to make money off of marketing, fucking Baker, dude. If I want shitty
No,
t-shirts.
I think you can turn Russ into a
Baker
meme.
is the mascot.
Into what?
I think the Broncos marketing and advertising team, they just got to make it into a meme. Like, they just got to turn Russ into a meme.
That would be
fuck
great.
Your starting quarterback, turn on him. Do it, Denver media. Like,
Yeah.
this is on you to put him on the spot and make this fun.
I think so too, man. It's about time. Russ was like really, it's funny because
We're calling for Russell Wilson to be bullied.
I think Russ should be the face of White Lives Matter. I think.
Oh.
Let's ride, brother. There you go.
And Denver, too?
It's tough, man. But yeah, it's tough though. He wanted the extension. They didn't want to give it to him. You know what I mean? He alienated a lot of teammates and everything like that. This stuff all comes back to you, man. That's how football works. It's like it's the most superstitious game for a reason, because like the football gods are real, man. This shit comes back to you, man. So you can't be, trying to live like an actual superhero every day, and like you gotta like be like answer the phone when your teammate, when Marshawn Lynch calls you, you answer the phone, all right? Because that dude. He's just scary.
Maybe he's having a Kanye-like episode where instead of, tweeting crazy shit about, like, fuck the Jews, he's just like, oh, well, I belong to God or whatever the fuck he's saying.
Belong to God. I am made. I am made from God.
I am made to speak in the third person.
It's like the New Testament is all about me, Russell Wilson.
Oh, my God,
The team that beat them, though, the Chargers, they're still chugging along, pulling out wins here and there. I feel like the Chargers are a team that should be real contenders.
Yeah.
I think if they are in the NFL.
Yeah, Keenan Allen has been hurt. So, big hamstring injuries, yep.
I think the Chargers, like they said, like I don't feel like they're like real contenders, but they're definitely there to like spoil it for others.
Yeah, I think they're going to make the postseason. Although I don't know with the AFC East, the way they've been playing, who knows nowadays? Football is interesting in the sense that no one really knows what's going to happen this season.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are going to get better throughout the season, so I won't judge them just yet, because there is a chance that by the end of the season they are a Super Bowl caliber team. They're obviously not there yet. By the way, it was a weird game. They threw it 57 times and didn't score a touchdown. Apparently, that was the first time it ever happened in NFL history.
Wow, that's I've never heard. I thought, really?
Yeah.
First time ever.
Yeah,
it
was.
Do you think that right now the transition that the NFL's in, that we're in the changing of the guard, where there's going to be all these new teams? Like, do you think the Eagles are going to be a good football team for the next 5 or 6 years? And do you think we're in the changing of a guard with like the teams that are going to be juggernauts, or do you think we're truly entering an era of just parity, like where you never know what's going to happen season to season?
Let me modify that question just a tad, which is, how do you see the sport evolving, right? Because that's really what the question is to me. Where is the level of talent across the board, as you said, just complete parity, or are there actually going to be year-over-year contenders that we see who are perennially contenders?
Well, I do think it's time to put different people in the spots that certain people held, like your best in the league and quarterbacks who were always like Tom Brady and Peyton or Tom and Aaron. You know what I mean? Like that's now Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that so much is going to change every team and like figure out who's the best and stuff like that. But it makes it makes the league. It's showing that the league has changed and that it's a new generation of talent and teams have risen to the top of the crop, so to speak, instead of the same old Patriots and Colts and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's nice to see that happen. It's nice to see that happen now, and like to have new people to root for. So,
I think the parity is really coming from the coaching, because we've seen, during this offseason, a lot of teams had major, upgrades at certain positions, like the Chargers, and they just haven't paid dividends because at the end of the day, it comes back to coaching. And then you look at the teams that are, their rosters aren't so strong, like the Giants, and I still, to this day, admit that the roster is not very strong, but the coaching is so good that they're 5-1. So, do I have to make it a homer point? Not really, but it just kind of is like that because the coaching, you're starting to see the flaws and where they are. Maybe the lack when you start to see a lack of talent, the coach can either like make up for it or they can highlight your deficiencies. So that's the way I think it's going to continue going.
Dwayne had to go. That's why we no longer have Dwayne. Awesome. But on that note, parody. Am I right, guys? Lucas, what were you saying regarding parody?
Yeah, I was just saying I think coaching is starting to, really play a big factor in separating, good teams from great teams and vice versa. Because we've seen a lot of these big upgrades, in the offseason, such as, the Chargers, the Raiders, and they haven't really started paying dividends yet. So although the Rams did it and had a lot of success with just, throwing a bunch of good players together and winning, they are also led by a very good coach.
Yeah, and I think that's the things. I think a lot of teams are trying to copycat that with their coaching, and I feel like it's like there's two generations of kind of coaches right now. That's either very old coaches or very young coaches.
Right.
So once that all shakes out, I think within like a couple more years, then we'll get back to having teams that are like solidified. Because think how much longer is Andy Reid gonna? You know what I mean? Like there's some old coaches in the league.
Yeah.
How old is he, by the way? Because I know Pete Carroll is probably one of the oldest, if not the oldest, and he's in his 70s. Yeah.
I think my guess 60s.
Oh, he's 64. Okay. Pete Carroll's 71. There you go. Belichick's 70. Okay. So if you'd say, I'm trying to think of the other kind of elite coaches right now. Sean McDermott's pretty young.
Yep.
Yeah. Brian Daboll's pretty young.
Yeah, those are the old ones that are left, right?
Yeah. I mean, truthfully, those are, I guess, Frank Reich. Frank Reich's not that old. Mike Tomlin's 50. John Harbaugh is not that old.
Yeah. What about the guy in for the Jags?
Doug Peterson. Yeah.
Because
Harbaugh's 60.
It's still
he's
not
60?
terribly
Man.
old.
Yeah, he looks young. Doug Peterson, I'd say he's like 62. Oh, 54. Yeah, okay.
So,
yeah.
I mean, the league definitely has young coaches right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying is that may be like why we're like the young coaches we're getting more parity as they're figuring out, because some of the young coaches are like coaching for they're getting head coaching jobs and then going back, you know what I mean, like a Josh McDaniels type shit.
Well, yeah, but I don't think Josh McDaniels is a good football coach. I really don't. I mean, he has so much talent in Las Vegas for them to be 1-4 right now. I know they hang around in games, but it's not like they're really capitalizing on anything that they do.
Do you think he's an Adam Gase?
Potentially. I think really what it is they just miss Henry Ruggs so much. The entire team's just demoralized still from him killing people last year.
I think they should have kept Bisaccia, but whatever. You go to this new coach, and it's still a little too early to judge because, they do hang around in games. I think the talent is there. I think they'll put it together, and I still see them making the playoffs.
The Raiders?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
In the playoffs?
I mean, I know it's tough, especially in that division, but
I mean,
the Raiders do this thing where, they put together these wins. They beat teams they're not supposed to win.
Right, they're 1-4 this season.
Yeah, it's not.
If
possible.
we're looking at the NFL on whole, everyone in the AFC East already has a better record than the Raiders,
including the team that we just shit talked for probably 12 minutes.
Yeah, so I mean, right, we have the Patriots, Dolphins, Jets, and Bills all have above 500 records or above. Then we have the Chiefs. Then we have the Chargers. On top of that, we have to have the division winner from the NFC North and the AFC North and AFC South.
Well, we got 3 wildcard spots now.
Well, I know, but I'm saying everyone in the AFC East already has a better record. Plus, the Chargers would be in that wild card.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you take just the 3rd team in the AFC West,
this is the Lucas I know. This is the Lucas that I know. This is what happened. Is sometimes with the you get some right. This is the one. There's no way they're making the playoffs.
It would be very, very hard for a team who's 1-4 to make the playoffs.
I understand that it would be extremely difficult, but I see it right now. Maybe they look like shit the next few weeks and they don't, but I don't know. I still see it. I wouldn't give up on them.
This is wrong. Yet. I would. This is wrong. Please, everyone, give up on them. Lucas is just completely wrong. A 1-4 team just doesn't do it. They were 0 were they 0-4?
0-3.
No, they're 0-3.
0-3. Yeah, 0-3 teams don't make the playoffs. They don't.
I do agree with Lucas that they have enough talent to make the postseason. Like, they really do. They have a very loaded roster.
And the Giants don't, and it looks like the Giants are going to.
Well, and again, I think that speaks larger to your point on coaching and how important coaching has been to establish the tempo that the league currently is in. Because you look at it, and the younger coaches are absolutely capitalizing, as well as the legendary coaches, right? I mean, look at Seattle right now. They're doing freaking fantastic relative to expectations to start the season.
I'm glad you brought them up. I think they might actually be good.
I agree. I think they're probably going to make the postseason.
The way they're playing, yeah. I mean, they're one of the highest scoring teams in the NFL.
Yep.
Geno Smith has had a career resurgence. Like, what is going on here?
What's going on here is the NFC is substantially weaker than the AFC,
mm-hmm.
and also they play in the NFC West, which has 0 good teams in it.
Which we thought was going to be the strongest division in football coming into the season, and clearly that's not the case. The Rams have kind of shit the bed. The Niners have shit the bed.
Yep, we went from west to east for both NFC and AFC.
We all consensus had them at last place, finishing the season before the season started. Now, do we see them winning the division?
I still would put the Niners in as winning the division because they've been there before and they've done it before and they still have a more talented roster.
Right. And they've done it with pretty much the same people. This is kind of a new cast, Yeah. Like, I know it's just Geno Smith is new, but that's still that's a big piece.
Kenneth Walker looked good last week.
Sure.
Like everything in Seattle looks like they are a professional football team in a way that it doesn't in Los Angeles for the Rams or Arizona for the Cardinals. I think the Niners look like a professional football team. I mean, they won very soundly last week, right? 38-15 win, I want to say.
Oh, wait, this past week? No, the Niners lost to Atlanta, which...
Yes, they lost.
Atlanta's 3-3. These 3-3 teams, these 3-3 bird teams, are they...
Feisty. With good... I mean, and the similar thing with Marcus Mariota, a bit of a career resurgence.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Still early to tell. I think I'm a little more sold on the Seahawks than I am the Falcons,
yeah.
But I don't know. Kenny, what do you think? Between the two, which team do you like more?
I think I like the Seahawks more, but I think these are teams. This is what I'm talking about when I say this is a long season, or about a third of the way through it right now. And I think that these things are gonna fucking start as it starts to get like colder and everything. These things are gonna start to these 3-3 teams that are hanging around and everything are gonna even out some of these teams. Are gonna help to even out some of these teams that have a lot of wins right now as they beat them and gain more wins, and then we just balance back out. I just think there's like a lot of imbalances in the league right now, especially out of New York with the Giants and the Jets. Both teams are playing like above their like pay grades right now, which is good. That's great, but I just don't see it happening all season.
What about the Vikings? They're also a 5-1 team. Is that sustainable? That's the word.
I think
sustainable.
I think that the Vikings are gonna Viking and the Kirk Cousins is gonna Kirk Cousin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a surprising thing. Like the Jets and the Jets and the Giants being where they're at is highly surprising. But I don't think nobody's ever surprised when Kirk Cousins and the Vikings are doing well. You have Kirk Cousins, who's just, you know, he has his postseason problems, but is a great regular season quarterback, great stats quarterback, and then you have one of the best players in the entire league in Justin Jefferson. One of the better running backs. What Dalvin Cook is is a top 10 running back, right?
I'd even say top 5 at this point.
So you know what I mean? The Vikings are I'm not surprised that the Vikings are 5-1.
And another new coach, right? And Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah. I think the Vikings are one of those teams where you're like, no, I'm not surprised the Vikings are 5-1. And then there's an alternate universe where you easily say, no, I'm not surprised that the Vikings are 1-5. You know what I mean?
They're winning the division?
Yeah, I do. I don't think it doesn't seem like Aaron Rodgers is going to pull this one out of the hat.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, right? They play the Commanders this week,
but like we said, like I have to apply the same thought to it is, you know, there's still 2/3 of the season left, and maybe he turns it on and fucking these receivers start catching balls and being where they're supposed to be.
It is a competitive division, even though it isn't loaded with a ton of talented teams. You know, the Lions are still going to give you a run for your money.
Bears are 2-4.
Bears, they don't look great, but when they play those division games, they play them tough.
Well, they play sloppy, right? Like, they're going to muck up a game.
Right.
The Bears' strategy is to make it look as ugly as possible. And it works decently. Like, it keeps the game close.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yep. So Packers do play the Commanders this week. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I don't actually think it's going to be particularly close, but with the way that the Packers have been playing, who knows? Are you guys over on Aaron Rodgers? Is he kind of done? Is he over the hill?
No, absolutely not.
I think there's too much animosity within the organization. I think didn't Dwayne say, I don't know if it was just like an aside, if you guys heard him say Aaron Rodgers should have went to the Broncos.
He should have.
That like it was like that would have just been, if that actually happened. You know what I mean? Like, send Russ to the Packers, Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos, and still let Geno Smith take the lead at the Hawks. But it's I just think that it's like bad blood. I think he needs to go to a new team, and it will be the true. We were pretending that Russ was going to have a Peyton Manning esque storyline going to the Broncos, but I think that Aaron Rodgers probably will when he goes to another team.
I think their offense is in a transition mode, and they just need to transition faster from, Devontae Adams was 50% of their offense. He's gone. What do we do now? Should probably run the ball a little more. Should probably, get these rookie receivers. I mean, you can't just they're going to need experience. They're going to need to progress throughout the season. I wouldn't count them out because the talent is still there. Defensively, they're still a very good team. But it's going to take time.
Brady should retire after the season, and Aaron Rodgers should go to Tampa Bay.
That would be great too. Yeah, if he wants to win now, yeah. I mean, Tampa. I don't know, man. Their offensive line is not very good. So if Aaron Rodgers wants to run for his life, you can go down.
Yeah,
but
Tampa. if you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Yeah, I mean. Mike Evans, you need to give him time to get down the field. Chris Godwin. Yeah, sure, you could throw it to him quickly, but I think he's gonna see out the rest of the season. It's not like they're gonna do a mid-season trade, which would be crazy. But no, we haven't seen that kind of trade in a long time.
Do you guys think Aaron Rodgers stays on the Packers next year?
I don't think so. I don't think you have a bad season. Where the team is like not good, I don't think so.
I wouldn't say they're gonna be bad this season. I think it's still too early to tell. So they'll get it together by the end of the season. If they make the playoffs, he'll stay. If they don't make the playoffs,
but historically in seasons like this, he has an MVP moment, but within the first 6 games, like there's nothing.
They're 3-3 right now, right? The Matt LaFleur streak of 13 win seasons is very much so on the line. What do you think their record's going to be at the end of the season?
I think they'll get 10 wins. I could see
10
them
and
getting to
7?
10 wins. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they play in a pretty weak division.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
they're not super weak, but they're strong enough to sweep that division. So if they sweep the division, there's 5 wins right there. I think they might have already played 2 of those games. Yeah, and then you chalk up some extra, wins here and there, and you're at 10 wins. That should be enough to get you, if not to win the division, at least a wild card spot.
Yeah.
I think if they lose this week, stick a fork in them. I think they'll
Really?
get. I think they'll get.
I think it's too early. It's the Packers, dude.
Yeah, I would just
So,
because
Giants-
of the state of the NFC.
Giants, Jets, Commanders. The 3. If you lose those 3 games, you're gonna sit here and say they are the Packers.
I think what Lucas more so is saying is just because they lose to the Commanders this week doesn't mean they're out of the postseason picture. Like, they're very much so going to be in the postseason picture because of how weak the NFC is on whole, right? And,
Right.
And that to me is true. Like, I think the Packers are 100% going to be a playoff team at the end of the season.
And if the Packers do lose to the Commanders, which I don't see it, but maybe you guys do, that's just a more rock bottom moment where they really start to get their shit together,
I don't know. I don't think so. I think they got to win this week.
If they lose to the Commanders, it's definitely a red flag, but I'm not putting a fork in them quite yet.
I mean, I agree with you that they're going to make the playoffs, but like I just don't.
Wait, but you say you're going to put a fork in them. How are they going to make
Yeah.
the playoffs when you put a fork in them?
Okay, with the Packers make the playoffs and exit and don't make the Super Bowl, do we really are we applauding them as a team? Like, no, the Packers are an organization that are at a point where they need to be playing in a Super Bowl, or if not, like winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but and this is only because of how much shit you guys gave me about me saying the same thing about the Cardinals at the start of the season, where I'm like, no, like they don't have the talent, they could still make the playoffs,
Yeah,
and you guys are, but they
Cardinals-
can't make the Super Bowl. It's a lost season. It is, truthfully, especially with Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career. They simply don't have the talent to really be Super Bowl contenders. They don't.
Right. I agree with you. So that's why I'm like, if they lose to a team like the Commander, I'm talking about put a fork in them for like going somewhere in the postseason.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, but if you're going to say shit like that, the Chiefs lost to the Colts.
We're now 3-2.
I literally told you 3
Right.
teams in a row. They've lost to the Giants and the Jets in back-to-back weeks. That is alarming.
Yeah, but the one thing that I'll say, the Giants are 5-1 and the Jets are 4-2. Like right now, they're very much so both playoff teams.
Yeah, you're really downplaying like how much these teams have improved and the level of competition there.
I don't know. I feel like both things can't be true. We can't be like that. The pack. You guys are saying like the Packers are like all the teams are good.
No. More so what it is the Packers are very much so worse than the Giants and the Jets this year. 100% agree. Like they are. The Giants and the Jets, I don't know if they have more talent, but at the current state and time, they're both better football teams. I think the Jets do have more talent than the Packers across the board on their roster, and the Giants' talent is playing 120% better than the Packers' talent is.
So while the Packers are going to make the playoffs, like you guys are saying, at the end of the season, are the Giants and the Jets going to stand as good football teams with good records?
I think the Giants and the Jets are both going to be in the playoffs.
I
Maybe
trust
not the
the Giants
Jets,
more
yeah.
than the Jets, but yeah, I think the Giants are going to be a playoff team and they're going to be a good team. Now, I have a different philosophy on the whole playoffs and Super Bowl thing. My philosophy is you play the regular season, you win as many games as you can, you make the playoffs. And then it's a brand new season because, yeah, you can be a great team. You can even go 13-3, make it to the postseason, but then half your team is injured, and then your chance of winning the Super Bowl are fucking gone. Or you can piece it together, you be a wild card team, and then you can win it all. It really is a brand new season after you hit the playoffs.
Well, I mean, I understand that. I'm talking about team by team.
Mm-hmm.
You have based on recent history, and sometimes the career history of your quarterback, especially somebody like Aaron Rodgers, but usually based on recent history, the past few seasons and how many core changes there have been. Is the whole coaching staff new? Do you have a new franchise quarterback or fucking a bunch of skill players new to your team? You're like, where should this team be? Like, where should this team be playing? And what you expect out of that team. So there's some teams where if they just make the playoffs, that we're just we are applaud. Oh, dude, they made the playoffs. We're applauding that team. That it's not Super Bowl or bust. It's not Super Bowl or bust for the Lions. For the Lions, it's like win games, have a winning record. Even if you don't make the playoffs, you're like, they're not, Lions fans aren't happy, but like have a winning record because they can't even get close to that.
Yes, and the Super Bowl is an unrealistic goal at this point in time for the Packers based on their performance. That doesn't mean it can't change, right? And I think it will change. I think the Packers are going to become a better football team over the course of the season. And come postseason, who knows? It really is a coin flip. You have one game. And Aaron Rodgers is a really good guy to bet your money on for one game.
And I talked about this early with the Cowboys. We went over this in our when we were previewing the season, where I said for the Dallas Cowboys, it's like making it to the NFC Championship and kind of winning it. I don't even know if at the end of the day, if Dak got to the NFC Championship and didn't get to the Super Bowl, if we'll sit there and be like, you know what? Dak is really good. We got it. This guy, they should have paid him that much money. You're looking at the Cowboys are a team that they need to, like I said, get to the NFC Championship and truthfully win it.
Yeah. Another team that very much says championship or bust are the Chiefs, and they still look pretty good after a loss to the Bills. Was there anything glaring that jumped out to you guys about that loss?
I'm glad you brought up the Chiefs because I was just going to say in relation to our previous argument, we forget that at some point last year the Chiefs were 2-4.
Yeah.
They looked terrible, and people were starting to write them off, and then they come back and go on this crazy winning streak.
Mahomes is on the right side of his career. Mahomes has the coach and the organization and everything lined up for him.
Aaron Rodgers was the MVP last year.
Right, but Aaron Rodgers does not have there's turmoil there. There's definitely fucking, you know what I mean? They all need to go drink some ayahuasca together and then maybe.
Maybe. If that's what's going to help, fuck it, dude. Mid-season ayahuasca trip.
But to answer Gabe's question about the Chiefs, the only alarming thing was back to that 2-4 record. There was a reason for that record, and that was a lot of Patrick Mahomes interceptions. He threw some really bad balls for interceptions against the Bills.
Yeah, I know that last pick, Teron Johnson, very much so just jumped the route, but even still, I think what this showed me more than anything is the Bills are the team to beat in the AFC. And I think we all kind of knew that a little bit, even after the Dolphins win in Miami, was the Bills still looked like the best team. They still have the most talent. Yeah.
Absolutely. They have only one loss, right? Who did they lose to?
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins, that's right, because, they're dangerous. So Chiefs, Niners, I'll take the Chiefs in this one. Yeah, I think the Niners, they had a bad loss to the Falcons. I wouldn't write them off just yet, but dude, you got to get your shit together because that's a very winnable game,
Yeah, I'd be surprised if the Chiefs drop this game. I still think overall, building for the course of the season, the Niners are going to be a playoff team. But losing 2 straight weeks, going to 3-4 is bad.
This is a good litmus test for them, actually, to see where they're at. Because the Chiefs are an elite team. They might not play another elite team like this the rest of the season.
I don't even necessarily disagree with you, but I feel like every team we talk about, you guys are and this team's going to be in the playoffs.
Well, the issue is there are 8 playoff teams now for each conference.
Yeah, that's
true.
A lot
of teams.
So it's half the league makes the playoffs. That's true.
Exactly.
It's more like fantasy football.
Yeah.
Gabe, there's actually 7 teams, right? Because there's Northeast, Southwest winners, and then 3 wild cards.
My apologies. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
7.
It's still almost half the league.
Unless there was some random 8th team out there.
Yeah. But that's still a lot of teams, and the way in which the league is currently shaking up, it really is open to anyone.
Yeah, no, I agree. It just sounds fun because we're just and then the Niners, they'll be a playoff team.
I would honestly be more surprised that if the Niners miss the playoffs than if the Packers miss the playoffs, just because of the division that they play in. The Niners have a wide open path to winning an NFC West. The Packers not so much in the NFC North.
At the halfway point of the season, so what? This is week 7 that we're heading into.
Yep.
Yes.
So after week 8, well, I guess we got to pick week 8 or week 9 since now it's changed. There's no halfway. But at that point, maybe after 9 games, we should write out our playoff picture, what we think the playoff. The at least just teams in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
And we should do that, and then in the off season, going into next season, since we're pretty fucking dialed in, which is kind of not to pat our own selves on the back, but a congratulations to us to be pretty dialed in with the podcast now.
Yeah.
With regular releases. So the off season should be a little fun too. But we got to get these because I'd be interested to see how we thought the playoffs were going to shake up.
Yeah.
Preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even remember preseason picks. Hopefully we didn't make them.
I mean, I think we had a pretty solid consensus on like what the divisions were going to be, how competitive they're going to be, and a lot of those predictions were wrong. And quite opposite, actually.
Other than the AFC South, I think we were all aligned that the AFC South was probably the worst division
Right,
in football. It still looks like that. Although the Titans are starting to look like the Titans again, and Lucas, unfortunately, got to give you credit again for saying that the Titans might put it together. 3-2
Lucas
Titans
says a lot, you guys. He's gonna get some things right. He says a lot.
If I bet on every team.
Yeah, he said the Raiders. He said the Raiders are gonna make the playoffs this year. So
maybe you should do it now. No, don't have enough time, but that'd be fun. But we do have Colts Titans this week. None of those teams scare me moving forward. Neither of them have a franchise quarterback, and the Colts looked better without Jonathan Taylor the last 2 weeks than they did with him. So I don't know if that speaks to anything that you guys are seeing in trends in football, but a lot of it to me is the next man up mentality, especially around running back positions.
Yeah,
I just think
that guy actually ended up being the best fantasy running back, Jackson.
Other than Ramondre, or even on top of Ramondre?
I think of on top of Ramondre.
Yeah.
This dude.
I really feel like the running back position is just devalued by the minute, like being. Like not devalued.
Not fantasy wise, but I mean in the NFL.
In the NFL, it's not being devalued. It is losing its value. Like they just are losing their prime. It's just crazy to think back to like, the 90s and before and everything, how the running back was the guy on your team.
There are like 4 teams that are still like singularly running back centric, right? Alvin Kamara on the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs on the Raiders has looked fantastic this year. Derrick Henry and the Titans. And then
Saquon on the Giants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd say those 4 teams are very much of their offense is built around the running back. Nick Chubb, yeah, definitely. Okay,
Yeah.
5. So it's still
But they have kind of a 1-2 punch going with Kareem Hunt. You know?
That's true.
But then those teams with the 1-2 punch, they put a lot of value on those players because those players are a huge
but they're
part
not
of their
paying them.
offense.
They're not paying them like as compared to how receivers pay has gone up.
Oh, absolutely not.
Up. Like they're just not making nearly as much money, and you can plug their more like you're saying, the next man up mentality. Like you can just plug and play more. It's almost like if you have a good running game, you have a good running game. There's not a lot of teams where it's like, oh, when you put the next guy in, it's because it's because you have a good running game, not because you have a good running back.
Until last week, same with the Niners, right? They plugged in Jeff Wilson Jr. and he looked great. So
yeah, then this week he looked bad,
Yeah.
but I think it's also based on. You mentioned the receivers get paid a lot more. It's also based on the rules. I mean, the rules protect receivers a lot more and just give them much more advantageous. I'd say, it just gives them a lot more leeway to make plays.
yeah, the durability of the running back position, very, very highly scrutinized. Javonte Williams again, right? Knee blown out. So who knows what's going to happen? I think Colts Titans. I'm probably gonna, if I had to pick, I'd pick Titans right now. I just don't trust the Colts, but the Colts have looked good the last 2 weeks. They have. They have an offense, is what it looks like, and Matt Ryan has pulled out 2 games.
He threw like over 50 passes. Am I correct there?
Yeah.
That's, man.
Against the Jags.
For someone that old, I'm surprised he's like humanly able to do that. So I think I'm going to go with the hot hand this one. I'm going to go with the Colts.
Of course, Lucas is going with the Colts. I'll pick Titans.
Okay.
Just to be different.
Yeah. Well, I picked the Titans.
Oh,
as
okay.
well.
Yeah, no, even if they don't get Jonathan Taylor back or Naeem Hines, who's also out.
Yeah.
This guy's kind of filling both roles. Deion Jackson.
Yeah, we're having our own little Michael Vick dog ring again, which is just always fun to have. Another game we have to talk about, Broncos Jets. We've talked a lot about the Jets. I'm pretty high on the Jets personally, 4-2.
Yeah, these are 2 teams that we've talked a lot about already.
Yeah.
Tonight that are playing each other, but I'm gonna go Jets here. Before the season, I would have thought this was going to be an easy win for the Broncos, but Russ is looking like he's like a perennial Jet.
You know who I love? Sauce Gardner. He has been
ballin',
fantastic.
dude.
Yeah.
He is. I love him. And he is very, very confident in himself.
On the other side of that, though, Patrick Surtain has looked very good as well.
Oh my God, Patrick
Dude.
Surtain is incredible.
Locking down.
Mike Williams yesterday.
He was
Shut
held
him
to
out.
like 2 catches. It was
Yeah.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad that Micah Parsons has panned out because that makes that not so painful.
Oh, that's right, because they're both
Yeah.
taken.
We
right
stood
before.
that was like the beginnings. That was the beginnings of the podcast. That was before one of our first like 3 episodes.
I remember we were in the parking lot, like
Mhm.
kind of checking how the draft was going, and you're like, "Oh shit!" You know that we got jumped over by it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we're all Jets on this one.
Yeah.
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 For sure.
Weirdly, not a question about it. Thursday night football this week. My lovely Arizona Cardinals are going to go into New Orleans and lose in the Superdome. I don't think
Really,
they
you're
have a
picking against your
chance.
team?
Andy Dalton's and the Saints offense has looked far better than the Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray. That's a concern. That just is. Like Andy Dalton.
Even with D-Hop back though.
It's going to be his first week back on a short rest week, too, for the entire team.
Well, he's going to be well rested.
Wait, so he hasn't been practicing, right? He just joined the
Yeah,
team on Monday for the first time. So he knows him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I don't know. That's a tough one because I don't really believe in the Saints that much, and I'm gonna pick the Cards.
Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cards, man. I think they're it's really tough to play in the Superdome. I get that, but man.
Yeah, sorry. We went from dog ring to dog shit on carpet real quick. So,
God damn it! All right, you guys continue this.
Okay.
So anyway, I have the Saints winning this one. Kenny's got the Cardinals. You got Saints? Cardinals?
I've got Cards, man. I think
We
yeah.
appreciate the support behind it, but I just don't think it's truly viable. As much as I enjoy the Cardinals, they're bad at football this season, and I don't know what else to make of it. The Cowboys are playing the Lions this week. We'll pencil that one in for just 1 second. But Giants-Jaguars. This should be at least somewhat interesting. Are you at all nervous about Trevor Lawrence? He's looked bad.
You know what? I don't want us to get overly confident because of these big wins we've had. And I know Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. He's made a lot of big improvements. For some reason, Vegas has us at 3-point underdogs.
Yeah, I have heard. I have seen.
Very surprising.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I honestly would expect the Giants to be favored. It's because the analytics very much so favor the Jags. I don't know why they do at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Which, by the way, analytics, that's another thing I wanted to talk about during the whole parity discussion. Analytics are getting crazy. Like, there's all these different terms they have now, like expected points. Have you heard about all that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it to me is like this is the natural progression of sports. You see it as well on NBA. I mean, baseball, obviously, a hallmark of statistical analysis in sports. But in the NBA, right, expected field goal percentage based on the shot that you take. It's not that crazy to have XWA, right, expected wins added, expected anything. I think the biggest question to me is what's going to happen when it comes to fourth down calls, because a lot of these teams seem to be interpreting what the analytics are telling them to mean always go for it on fourth down and not really looking at the situation or play call, etc. And the best teams that are still capitalizing on the use of analytics to guide them in the right direction, but not letting it be the ultimate decision maker.
Right. I mean, I think there's definitely like a certain no man's land, they call it, within, what is it, like the opponent's plus 40-yard line to maybe the 30-ish. Because at some point, if you're going more than a 55-yard field goal, it's very unlikely to happen. So yeah, I agree with the analytics being used there. We just fucking went super away from this, but the discussion was Giants Jags. Obviously, I have the Giants. But Trevor Lawrence has been looking good. They're still 2-4, which is what really confuses me why they would be underdogs. But
I
Giants
agree.
all the way, baby.
Yeah, I got Giants in this game as well. I'd be surprised if they lost it.
I would be surprised if the Giants lost as well. Unfortunately, I think they're going to keep their win train going.
Yep.
This week, as far as the Cowboys Lions, I think that's just it's another game. This is another week where everybody's going to move forward with the wins. The Cowboys are going to win this game.
They should. It'll be interesting if this is Dak's first game back. I wouldn't 100% pencil them in. I am going to pick them, but Dak's first game back makes me a little bit nervous for the Cowboys on whole.
Makes me nervous too, and the Lions are coming off a bye week. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be fully healthy. You could tell he kind of was, barely made it to the last game. Do we get DeAndre Swift back? Do you know?
I don't know if he's back this week. My guess is yes, based on bye, but I'd have to double check.
Well, yeah, man, Dak coming back. I feel dangerous. I'm gonna go with the Lions. Yeah.
I honestly don't blame you. I thought about it personally.
Jesus Christ, you guys, come on.
No, the Lions are a team that would perennially terrify me to play against. I expect the win, but they are still a team that very frequently keeps it very, very close and very tight, and they want to be competitive. And I don't know if Dak first week back has the firepower to keep up with them.
It's very interesting because they're one of the highest scoring teams going up against one of the best defenses. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see, because they did that. It was similar to the Patriots game. Patriots, they just shut them out. It was like they only scored 3 points. It was terrible. But maybe
the Cowboys are going to win this game.
We'll see.
I think so. I do think so. But if any team was to beat them, the Lions would not be one that would surprise me.
Who are the Eagles playing? I know they're not on the list, but I'm curious. Just overall division.
It's a good question. And excuse me for going on my phone, but
we got it right here.
We're pulling it up.
Steelers.
They should win.
Wait,
no.
Wait. Oh yeah,
they
have a bye week. Oh, okay, gotcha.
So they'll remain undefeated for this time, and then come back next week to face the Steelers, Texans. I mean, they have a cakewalk of a schedule up until they hit the Packers on November 27th.
Yeah, well, the NFC East just overall has a very easy schedule.
Well, they were bad last year, so you get
terrible.
So you get an easier schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. All right. I think that about does it for us. Shout out to Dwayne. Thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Later.